Hello, Nix Nova here again. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about psychic scammers and how you can be able to tell whether you're likely being scammed or not. So first of all, like psychic scammers, they are actual psychics. So the first time initially when you go get a reading done with them, it probably will be very accurate. They are usually actually pretty powerful, and they do have the gift. However, their priorities are not to help people, they're not to work with their clients. Their priorities are money. That's it. So they will say and do anything to get you to keep paying them more money. So a reading might go like, oh yeah, here's a regular reading. Here's, like your struggles, like like your questions, answers, like typical stuff. And then, depending on your reaction, especially if you're going through something negative, if you're not in the best place, they're gonna pounce on that opportunity. It's very sad, it's unfortunate to take advantage of people when they're already, not in the happiest place, but that's what they do, because those people are more likely to be desperate. They're more likely to like pay for the services, because they're not, they're not in a good space. They're not thinking clearly. So they would say something like, oh, like there's a darkness around you since birth, or you've been cursed in your mother's womb, or there is someone who is psychically attacking you, and they're, like stealing your life force, and they're like putting darkness like into your aura, and I will, if you pay me like more money, like I will be able to like cleanse it and fix it for you. And so like but act fast, because that's what they want you to panic. They want you, like, there's always going to be a sense of urgency, like, oh no, I better get this done before things get worse. Like, they will fear mongol you, like, so that you'll get scared and that you would want to get this service done, this cleansing, whatever. Now, first of all, if you didn't like, psychic attacks are a thing, but they're very, 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 very rare. Like, you would have to piss off some, like, really interesting characters in order for someone to start psychically attacking you. Like, if you don't have any enemies, if you don't mingle in that circle where people, dabble in, like, dark magic or work with dark entities or anything like that, like, who would attack you? That doesn't make any sense. So, like, first of all, if they start talking like that, red flag. Um, Another thing there's a difference. Let's say sometimes there is some darkness around you, because like these psychics, the darkness, like, there are dark entities, and they will take advantage of you. Same thing when you're at your worst. But those come in like thoughts, basically, right? Like negative thought patterns. So you all, like, let's say you're already prone to depression or anxiety, like negative thinking patterns. These entities will like come in and they will amplify that. Like they'll act like the thoughts may be coming, like it'll feel like maybe like, wait, did I think that? Or like, but you might be picking up like external like energies that are manifesting themselves in your thoughts. So like, that is possible. However, like, you have to like someone who's trying to help you will tell you, you need to do the work, right? I can help you initially, but in order for you to truly like permanently keep the darkness away, and get back to a better place, it has to come from within. You have to do the work. So if this psychic is telling you, oh, like, I can do, no, only I can do that, I will do this, no, like, that's not how it works. you have to do the work. Like, they can give you the tools, they can give you the guidance, they can like teach you, they could show you how, tell you how, point you in the right direction, but you have to be the one, like, to maintain it. You have to do the work. So like what these psychics do is, let's say initially, fine, like you get a reading and it's, a relatively standard price, you know what to expect, okay, cool. Then they're like, oh, I need like this additional thing I need to do that costs like, usually it's like a few $100s. So it's like, it's expensive, but they're gonna convince you like, oh, you're investing, right? You're investing in your well-being, and like, they'll act like it's a one-time thing. Like, you pay them like, $200-300 or whatever, and then like it's gonna be done. It's never done. This work is never done. There's gonna be like, again, we need, again, oh, the darkness it's persistent, it's strong, it's powerful with what we're working with. More work needs to be done. And like they'll keep milking you for money, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. Versus gonna be a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, and they'll see, oh, they're paying. Then they're gonna start then it's gonna get into the thousands category. Gonna be over 1,000, maybe 3,000. They'll see if they can get that out of you. If they can, then it starts getting ridiculous. Like 10,000 or more, 15,000. Like, you can buy a car for that. Like, they're gonna pay you that. Like, what are you even doing, right? If you're such a powerful psychic that you claim to be, if you know what you're doing, why can't you get rid of this? No matter how powerful an entity is, like, why is so much money required? First of all, because they're gonna be like, I work with these candles that have like pure gold in them, or I need to buy like this crystal casing and like to contain the spirit. Like, why? Yes, candles and crystals and stuff like that, those are very helpful tools that a lot of psychics use, but they're not like, why do you need to buy crystals that cost like $7,000? Like, it's not gonna, crystals do amplify your abilities, but like 7,000, like, why do your candles need to have gold in them? You really don't need gold. Like, you just don't. You don't need gold candles. Like, that's weird. So that's another red flag. Another red flag is, so let's say like they like ask, so if they do offer this, oh yeah, like, ask as much details as you can before you make a decision about the service that they say they need to do for you, right? To cleanse you of this darkness. Usually they're gonna ask for your full name, like your full legal name, first and last name, and your full birth date, like birth month, year. So like, why, like, they shouldn't need that. And it's always gonna be something, oh yeah, I'm gonna work overnight, I'm gonna like not sleep all night, and I'm gonna keep doing this ritual like, the entire night. Like, it's not an exorcism. Things like exorcisms and like really powerful like rituals like that require, usually multiple people, and usually you would have to be there. The item or the person carrying the dark essence has to be in the room for it to be cleansed. So they're gonna like not sleep all day, like all night, to what are you doing, and why do you need my full legal name and my birthday? I'm guessing, and I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing they're running some kind of background check on you to see like specific, details that they could tell you, oh yes, I meditated all night, it was so tired. They're always gonna try to make you feel sorry for them. Like, feel guilty, like, I did this for you all night, and like there's more work that needs to be done. I will fight for you tirelessly. Like, but like, like, wow, you don't, like, they can't do much without you there. Again, like, psychic readings and things like that, of that nature, about the connection. It's like, yes, it is possible to connect like over distance, but why do you need to stay up all night? What are you doing? Like, it's, again, if it was like an exorcism, like a legitimate exorcism, yeah, it's like that's a whole other story. But like, if they're doing some energy cleanse on you, some, you know, chakra thing, it's like, what are you doing? You know? So yeah, they'll make you feel really guilty so that you'll tip them more, you'll pay more money, or you'll like take a service at it. Like, again, the work is never done. So it's a lot of suspicious things. So yeah, pay attention. Oh, about like, you know, your birthday and your full legal name. Like, some readers will, like, who work with astrology will ask for your birthday. It is possible that they'll ask for the year as well if they work with, you know, like Eastern astrology, like, you know, like Chinese zodiac and things like that. It is possible, you know, they connect through that. But they shouldn't need like all of that information. Like, I personally, like, it does help knowing a name, does help me make a connection, but it doesn't have to be your full legal name. I never ask my clients for their last name. Like, why? I just need, it doesn't even have to be your first like legal name. It's whatever that's a unique identifier that's personal to you, just something personal that I can like single, that's unique to you, that I could single your energy out so I can, you know, connect to your specific energy. You know, you don't need a full legal name for that. Like, they're, you know, that's weird. And then, you know, if we're talking about like a external person, if in my readings, I would ask like, what is their name? But again, I don't need a full legal name, just some kind of unique identifier so I can like zero in on that energy. That's it. That's all you need. Like your zodiac and your name, some kind of name for you. Like, yeah. So the fact that they ask for your full legal name and your full birth date, it's like, they might be running some kind of background check software like overnight. That's why it's over, because that's why they needed to do overnight, because they need to do these things when you're not there. Because when I'm there, I can see exactly what you're doing, right? I could see, you know, you're pulling tarot, you're like, I could feel your energy, like I'm aware of what else you're working with, what rituals you're doing. But like, when I'm not there, they could be doing anything. Like, you don't know. That's another red flag. If they need to do it remotely, ask like, well, can I come in? Like, why can't I come in? Like, ask as many questions as possible, like, to really see like if what they're saying is legitimate or not. So now, like, I'll give you some like examples. So I am talking from personal experience, and it's yeah, I've been, you know, not in a good place. I was younger too, not as spiritually aware at all. And it's yeah, I was not in a good place. I was really fed up with, I had really bad luck in relationships, for example. I just wasn't happy. Like, you know, my depression, like, got worse at that time, and I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted to do anything. Like, I was willing to do almost anything to just make it get better. I wanted to get better. So I got scammed a couple times. 2 different psychics in 2 different states. They both told me I was cursed in my mother's womb by like some jealous family member on her side that wanted to break her and my dad up. And maybe it's the thing. I don't know. Either way, like, you know, again, it's up to you. Whatever happened to you in the past, you can change it. You can, and it's up to you. And yeah, so they were both like, literally, that's what I said happened, you know, like oh, give me this money for this service, tell me this information, was never enough, always needed more. The second one, get this, that's where I was like, oh, okay, you're like, and and you tell them like, you tell them that like, hey, I was scammed in the past, so I'm skeptical, and they'll be so reassured, like, no, I get it, no, I don't do that, no, and then they do the exact same thing that you said, like the other ones did. It's like, really, how dumb do you think people are? Really, yeah, they're very arrogant. So, so yeah, the second one, after I paid her whatever, I can't remember even how much, like, it wasn't, like, she said, oh, she was working in some remote location. They always work in some remote location, like, so in a church. And she released the spirit from me into the church, and it was, like, loose in the church, and she was, like, battling it. I was like, by that point, read books. That's another thing. I read a book called The Exorcist's Handbook. So valuable, fascinating, and factual. And they talk about, scammers and like a little bit, and like what actually goes on in an exorcism, and like it teaches you how to work, how to do the work yourself. Because that's how it actually needs to happen. So yeah, so she's like, I released the spirit at a church, and like by then, after reading that book, I was like, are you stupid? Like, even I know, like, what is wrong with you? Like, even if there was an entity, right, that had to be removed from me, which I doubt there was, but like, we let it loose in a church? Are you dumb? Like, why would you do that? So what legitimately needs to happen is, the entity needs to be attached to some object, and then the object needs to be salted and burned. The ashes need to be buried on holy ground, and like, or with holy water. Like, you need to like remove this spirit and like, from this realm, like, immediately. You don't trap it to like work with it or battle it or whatever, like, get information out of it. Like, I was like, that's it, I'm done. And then like, that she told me like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna need like, 12, like, it was over $10,000. I was like, do I look like some billionaire to you? Like, do I look like I just have $10,000 just lying around like in my closet that I don't use? Like, what? Yeah, and it's sad. It made me so sad and like angry that like, I'm in a bad, like, they see you're in a bad place. I wasn't well. I needed like, I was getting therapy, but I needed to continue therapy is what I needed to do, and just keep doing more work. And yes, I needed, like, for me, spirituality was also important, but like, not like this, and they just take advantage of people. They see that, like, like, there maybe people are naive, maybe they're desperate, maybe they're scared, not mentally, like, in a super good place mentally, and then they just exploit that. I don't know, like, to me, that's, like, borderline evil. Like, how can you feel good? Like, are you proud of yourself? How can you do that to people? Like, you know exactly what you're doing. You're scamming people out of lots of money that they could be using to, get help and make themselves better. Like, legitimately. Like, what are you doing? I wouldn't be surprised if these people actually work with dark entities. That's why they don't want you to see, like, their rituals at overnight, whatever they do. Maybe they're doing some kind of, like, shady black magic stuff that, you shouldn't be around. I don't know, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised. And it's sad. So, whenever that type of stuff kind of like does happen, where you go to a reader and then they start going on and on, get a second opinion and go to a store. Like, I read out of a store, and those readers, I mean, yeah, some are, some will tell you just what you want to hear. There's still possibilities for it to not be as legitimate, but the chances are a lot higher that these are like legitimate readers that aren't going to scam you, because they're tied to a store, right? I have to fill out a tax form. The store knows where I live. Like it's the store's reputation at stake too. The store's owner sets the rules, because these independent psychics, it's their own business. They're the owner, the manager. They're the entire business. They could do whatever they want, and how will you trace it back to them, right? No one knows where they live, right? They could pack up their business, put a closed sign on the door, and just disappear the next day if something goes down. And then, like, how are you gonna find them? Whereas from a store, like, you'll be able to find these people. So because I've had two clients who wanted a second opinion, and I'm really glad they got a second opinion. That was really smart of them. So they came over and they're like, yeah, like, I saw the psychic. She told me, like, this and that, like, all this darkness is around me. One of them actually did have a dark spirit around him. So I told him, like, how to work with the inner light. That's how you battle these things. That's how you battle darkness. You battle it with your inner light from inside yourself. You have to do that. So I told him, like, a couple simple cleansing rituals he can do around the house. I told him, how to summon the light. Imagine the light around you, fight it with the light. And that's how you do it. And you have to be persistent. And, like, and I'm legitimately, like, I have legitimate concern for my clients. I want to be helpful to them. That's my goal. So I will teach them things that will actually be helpful instead of just, like, scare them to where they're even more desperate. So, like, the other one did not have anything attached to her, luckily. But, I recommended for her, like, in the tarot that came up, like, something was out of alignment. Some like, her chakra. So the worst I would do is I would recommend to go get, like, Reiki done. So some kind of, like, energy cleansing, aura cleanse, like, chakra realignment. That's the worst I would recommend to, like, additional help to get done. And for that, like, it's, what the prices are. You can do research. Like, it's a very common thing. You know what to expect. You know what you're gonna pay. You like, it's just a one-time service. It's like, you know what you're getting into, and that's it. So yeah, hopefully this information helps you avoid these scammers. I hope that, the less the advantage that they take of people, the less darkness there will be spreading in the world. And I hope you take this, information. And again, yeah, always would not hurt to get a second opinion. And remember, try to go to, like, a store, like an actual, like, place, like, a legitimate business where it can be traced, not like a private reader. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time.